Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Ed Troxel. And if we've never met before, welcome. You're in for a treat today. Real quick, just so you know, if you need help with your online visibility and really being able to step in front of the camera just like this and go live with your audience, be sure to send me a message. You can do that right here on Facebook or wherever you're tuning in to me from. So that way I can help point you in the right direction and help you find your voice here online. Now, today I'm super excited because you are going to be able to join me at the coffee shop. That's right. Here on the show, we are going to be having a special guest. And how it works is that you, the listener, watching this is going to be able to eavesdrop in on our conversation. It's going to be a lot of fun. So grab some coffee, grab some tea, grab whatever you like to drink, and pull up a seat to the table next to ours because we're about to dive into the conversation that entrepreneurs have with each other about business and all the ups and downs and everything in between. So I hope that you're ready, and we'll see you after the show. Oh, here comes my guest. Jenessa, welcome.
Hey, Ed, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. That intro was fancy. I felt like I should be like strutting on stage.
Yeah. Isn't it funny? I love that music. Just like gets me going. And I'm just like, yeah, let's get this going.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Thank you. So, how is everything going with business and just life? I know we've been catching up here and there on Messenger, on Facebook, but tell me what's the business doing right now? What are you doing with your business?
Yeah, it's good. It's trying to figure out all the little pieces and parts sometimes can be a little frustrating, but
yeah,
we get it. We'll get it. I'm launching right now, so the middle of I'm in pre-launch right now. Yeah. So that's exciting. Getting all those pieces together can be a little fluttering too.
Yeah. And what are you launching right now? Because launching, I feel like you said, there's so many little pieces that you have to put together. And when you hear the word launch, so many of us just like freeze up and we're just like, oh, no, I don't want to.
Yeah. The funny thing is that launching has never been stressful for me. It's just making sure all the pieces and parts are in the, sorry, my cat's very vocal today.
Yeah.
You can hear him. Getting all those pieces and parts in the places they're supposed to be when they're supposed to be there. But if you plan it ahead, then it's easy to just kind of plug and play it. Once you set up that first initial launch, you just like plug and play every time you launch again. So super easy. But I'm launching a group program. It's called Soul Marketing. And it's a 90-day group program that just helps you create a 90-day marketing plan. So kind of just what I just said about launching, except it's an entire marketing plan.
Wow. And so how are you planning that part in terms of like when you talked about launching it and really, planning that thing out? Are you setting the actual launch date and then working backwards, or how do you kind of strategize that part?
Yeah. So I just did this for next year already. So next year's for this group, the dates for launch are on the calendar every 90 days already. Okay. I have 3 phases that I go through in all of my marketing. So it kind of wraps all in together, like your whole marketing plan and then your launch, like that 2 weeks of pre-launch, like where you're hitting it hard, But yeah, I have 3 phases that I go through every 90 days. And then in the beginning, the very first time I did it, yes, I work backwards. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, here's my launch date. What do I need to do 2 weeks before that? And then what am I creating? Like what kind of content am I creating for, the 90 or 70 days before that?
Okay.
To lead into it. But, some of us have more than one program that we're launching, or we have a ongoing program that we're always doing or something like that. So that's where the soul marketing is makes it so easy because you can just doop, 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 and just plug all kinds of stuff in there and you're done for marketing, like for the year.
and that's what I love. And I love how you talk about your soul clients and soul marketing. Tell me a little bit more about how you came about that and really what does that mean?
Yeah. So a soul client really is just your ideal client. Like, who's your ideal client? But I call them soul clients because, I mean, how many people have you heard that teach you how to create an ideal client avatar? And they're like, where do they live? What kind of car do they drive? Are they married? Do they have kids? Like, do we really care? I mean, some people, depending on what your service or product is, do care, right? And that's really important to them. But when it comes to your content and your marketing and your message and messaging, those things don't necessarily matter. What matters is what's going on in their head, what's going on in their life. Why are they at the place that they need you?
Yeah.
And how can you help them get to where they want to go? So it's really like deep level. I say that you're talking to their soul because you really got to get inside their head to get those fears, their desires, the stuff that they don't want to say out loud, but you're saying out loud. And they're like, whoa. It's kind of like when you search on Google for like sneakers and then you have 15 ads on Facebook for sneakers.
Yes. Following you everywhere.
Yes. Yeah. That's how you want your clients to feel like, oh my gosh, they just got in my head.
And see, that's a beautiful thing because so much of entrepreneurship is about mindset and really diving into the mind work that goes into it. Like the more and more I read and go on, you know, with the years of business behind me now, is that it really does come to that mindset, which I feel like in the beginning of entrepreneurship, that's not really talked about a whole lot. Maybe more today, but it just seems like that's one of the blocks that has been kind of a missing piece, I feel like.
Yeah. And the missing piece is that nobody tells you in the beginning. But I know when I started my business, I didn't think about mindset. I wasn't thinking about how I was thinking.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that I wanted to help people and make money, right? Like there are things I think, and that's another misconception too, is that your business isn't about you.
Right.
You know? And I think that's another piece of why the mindset part doesn't resonate sometimes with people, because they're so, you know, all about their ideal client. Well, you should be, but your business isn't being built for your ideal client. Your business is being built for you so that you can have the life that you want by serving your ideal client.
Yeah.
And nobody told me that in the beginning. You know, I had to kind of find that out a little bit on my own, a little bit with, you know, certain mentors that I ended up coming across, thank God. But yeah, I think that should be entrepreneurship 101, your mindset.
Yes. I agree. I mean, that's why I've actually in my program for Coaches Go Live, I actually put that as the beginning piece. Like we have to work on the mindset, because getting in front of the camera, let alone being live, like that's a huge mindset that we have to shift there to really get into it before we can get into content and tech and all of the other things, because that stuff comes later. We have to make sure that this is right first.
Yeah, there are definitely foundations that if you don't have the foundations in place, none of the other stuff is going to work. And you can do all the other stuff,
right?
But it's not going to work. Yeah. And then you're going to be going, why isn't this working? What am I doing wrong? What am I missing? Like, how many times did I say that to myself? How many times did you say that to yourself? A million, right? In the beginning, we're like, what is going on? What am I missing? What am I not doing? Why is everybody else successful and I'm not? Like, what what's going on? Yeah. So mindset is one of those, right? Foundations. And, like we were talking about before, who is your ideal client and who are you?
Yes. Who are
Like,
you?
yeah, you got to know those things because, like strategy and funnels and all these things that, people say we need.
Right.
Yeah, you can go do them. Go do them. Probably not going to, and they might work for about this long, and then something it's not going to happen because you don't have the foundations.
Yes, it's huge. And when clients come to you, or prospects, I should say, before they even become clients, what are you kind of seeing as kind of maybe a struggle that a lot of them face when they come to you? Because I know, like, for example, with me, it's always the tech. Like, the tech is the struggle, right? And it's trying to figure out, what program to use to implement XYZ, or what strategy would be good for them to implement XYZ, followed by how do I actually use the tech for that? And so we have to kind of do a little work there to figure out, is that really what you need? And is that really something that you need to buy? Probably not. And so we go through that process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what I hear a lot is, I don't know how to get my next client. I don't know where to find my ideal client. And I want more sales. Right?
Yeah.
Like, we all want more sales, but that really is the bottom line. This is what they want. They want more sales. They want to hear yes more often, and they want to not feel fear. They want to be confident in what they're doing. Yeah, those are the things that I find that my people come to me for.
Yeah, and that fear part is big. Again, goes back to the mindset, and really working on those challenges that come up. And it's very interesting too that the going from the fear to wanting more yeses, which turn into more no, or yeses into more money, or more sales, I should say. And then it's one of those things that, where do I find my ideal clients? And what I have found, with some people I've talked to, I start going through, where are you searching? What conversations are you joining? And some will just say, well, I posted an ad somewhere. And it's like, okay, but
and
what conversations are we having? Like, we have to actually have a conversation with people and know that you have to lead up to, what you're trying to sell, not just here's an ad and people are supposed to buy.
Yeah. People need to get to know you.
Yes.
They need to resonate with you. They need to, on some level, it can even be a subconscious level that these people resonate with you. But how do they resonate with you? You have to know who you are as a business owner and who you can help the best.
Yes.
Because that's what you're putting out into the world, right? All the messaging, all the content, all the copy, all of those things, your ads, it doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
Those are the things that you're putting out there. If they don't resonate with you on some level, then they're going to move on to the next person. And that's okay if they really don't resonate with you. But if they're not resonating with you because you're not connecting with them on a soul level, or on that, I don't want to say vulnerable level, but at some point it is kind of a vulnerable level.
Sure.
But on the truthful level, where you're actually speaking your truth and telling your story and putting out there what you do stand for, what you don't, what you like, what you don't, how you act, your personality, if you're all that thing, all authentic, I guess is the buzzword right now. I'm not crazy about the word authentic right now, but yes, that. So if you're not being you, then you're not that person that went to the other person really could probably have resonated with you, but
Yeah.
you were trying to be something else, something you're not.
Exactly. And that's the thing too, this has come up quite a bit with clients and people I've talked to just in general, where they're afraid of losing a follower, or they're afraid of losing a subscriber, an email list subscriber, or whatever it is, that they're afraid of losing people, especially when they're doing things like what you're saying, is being themselves and really putting it out there, like, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, this is who I am, this is not who I am. And we have to remember that it's okay if we lose somebody, because they're obviously not our ideal client. They're not our soul client. And we have to be okay with that. And it's very interesting because we get so caught up with what I like to say, the vanity metrics, and
Oh, yeah.
seeing those numbers. I don't know, do your clients as well struggle with that?
I struggled with that in the
Yeah.
beginning. Yeah. I even put an app on my phone that was like the Instagram, the follower
Oh,
app. Like I could see, like if I saw my numbers go down, I could go see who unfollowed me,
yeah,
so
yeah.
that I could go unfollow them. Like, oh, please, like,
The truth is out.
yeah. I mean, it's human nature.
Yeah,
So, like, don't bash yourself for it. It's human nature. It happens, and that's a mindset thing, right? That's a scarcity lack mindset. It's not a growth mindset. So, having a growth mindset means you're like, cool, I lost follower. Like, it's going to get to the point where you're not even going to realize you're losing followers or gaining them. Like,
yes,
that really is your goal, is to not even pay attention to it, because it doesn't matter.
right.
The people that stay are the ones that are meant to stay. The ones that go are the ones that meant to go. And the ones that go sometimes are just not ready for you yet.
That's a big one right there. They're
Yeah.
maybe not ready for you, which is a huge thing that I think all of us entrepreneurs forget that piece, because again, we want more yeses, we want more sales, and we forget the relationship part, and building the relationship, making sure that we're nurturing that relationship, and that right there is huge, huge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We totally forget we focus on the numbers, like we were just talking about. Oh my gosh, I have 1,000 followers on Facebook. I have 1,500 on Instagram. Oh my gosh, it just went down by 20 today. What happened? What did I do? Nothing. You didn't do anything, right? So, but the connection part of it, like, that's one of my core values, is connection.
Yeah.
So relationships and connection kind of go together for me.
Ah,
And if I can't build a relationship, whether it's just a relationship of me sharing value and people receiving value, because that's a relationship.
yeah,
It doesn't have to be in the DMs. While that's great, it's great to connect with your people through DM. It's great to connect them anyway, but to remember that a relationship doesn't mean you have to personally speak to everybody.
right.
It means that you have to connect on some level. That's a relationship.
And that's key. I don't know if you saw my conversation yesterday about DMs, but I went live yesterday talking about what not to do in the DMs. So I'm telling you, it's like, when people send you a direct message, whether it's on Instagram or Facebook or wherever else people are doing it, again, it ties into the relationship part. And that was my whole conversation yesterday, was there's different ways that you can send a message to somebody. So when you're friends on Facebook or followers on Instagram, there's a relationship there that you have to assess before you send the message. If you and I are messaging each other, we have a different relationship than if it was me and Susie, who I've never talked to. we're friends, we follow each other, but we've never actually had a conversation before. We've never approached each other on the messaging or on the phone or any of that, right? So when we reach out to that other person, that conversation looks different. For example, you and I could easily respond or message each other and just say, "Hey Ed, what's happening today?" Or "Hey Ed, I have a question about XYZ," which is appropriate. That's fine because that's our relationship in terms of we've already established connection. But my issue was, and what I wanted to educate others to do better, is that you don't just message somebody and say, "Hey," like that's it.
Yeah, or
like,
a wave.
Yes, or the wave. It's like, especially as business owners, that is so annoying because we are trying to run a business. We're trying to keep things moving. Yes, we want to have a conversation with you, but just doing the little hook and reel type dance here, it's not going to work, and it's so annoying, right? And so that was kind of my conversation yesterday, is that that's something that you don't want to do. Like, if you want something, which is clearly why you're reaching out, and we've never had that established connection, then reach out and say what you want. Like, "Hey, I have a program that I'm selling. I didn't know if you'd be interested. Hey, I don't know if you know anybody who would be interested in XYZ." Like, throw it out there fully and just be transparent.
Yeah. So the things that I don't do on DMs, right?
Yeah. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So I guess this kind of goes along with and friend requests, right?
Yes.
I do not send a lot of friend requests. I get a lot of friend requests, but I just don't, because especially, I mean, it's your personal profile, first of all. Yeah. While I do post business stuff on my personal profile, if I am going to send you a friend request, it is because you inspire me in some way. I want to connect with you in some way, not just because we have 60 friends in common, which I get a lot, right? Like, I'll get friend requests that are like, "Oh, you have, 110 friends in common. Great. Yeah. Why do you want to be my friend?" Like, I almost want to send them messages before I even accept their friend request. Like, that's like, "Thank you so much for, sending me a friend request, but why?"
Exactly.
And then I'm like, "Nah, that might be a little too forward, but that's okay." But yes, so the things I don't do is send friend requests and then ghost.
Yeah.
If I send you a friend request and you accept, I send you a message. And I'm like, "Hey, thanks for accepting. This is why I sent you a friend request." Yeah. Because you're cool. You inspire me. Like, I want to know more about your business. What kind of services do you have? Like, stuff like that. Do you want to be in my podcast? Like, there could be a million different reasons why I reached out to you. Yeah. But I'm not just going to friend and ghost you.
Right.
I am not going to send a friend request and then send out a major thing that says, "Come like my page," without contacting me first.
Yes, exactly.
Or a DM that even says, "Oh, hey, thanks for accepting my friend request. Join my group." Yeah. While I love the fact that you think that maybe I could benefit from your group, I don't know you.
Exactly.
And I think that's the biggest thing here. You have, like you said, you have to build a relationship, whether it's just sending them a message on the DM being like, "Hey, thanks for accepting my friend request. So excited to connect with you."
Yeah.
Period. You at least reached out, and match the energy that you're like. If somebody sends you a DM, match the energy that they're sending. If they're like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" Don't be like, "Oh, great, boom," and like this book. you know,
Yeah.
because they're going to be like, whoa.
And I will say that's how you should have that conversation. That's exactly like, if you're going to reach out, especially when it comes to Facebook, if you're going to reach out and be somebody's friend, like send them a message so they know. And I will say too that I get it in terms of that's an extra step that we may not always be thinking about because the platform itself is not built that way. For example, LinkedIn automatically has, when you connect with someone, to add a note, or it asks you if you want to add a note. So the fact that the platform, in this case LinkedIn, is prompting you is helpful, whereas with Facebook we don't have that yet. Maybe they'll watch the show and they'll learn that, but it's one of those things that we have to take that initiative, and it brings that personal touch, and it's not rocket science. It's literally as simple as, like you said, hey, I saw your profile, you inspire me, let's be friends. Like, I mean, it could be so simple, and nurture that a little bit before running and being like, join my group.
Yeah. And I think one of the biggest things too is that people are afraid to send a DM because it's one-to-one, it's personal. Oh my gosh, what are they going to think about me? Well, I don't know. You sent them a friend request. So if you sent them a friend request, they already know your name.
Yep.
Right? Now they're sitting over there going, why? Yeah. Why did you send me a friend request? Or like they'll accept it. I've accepted a bunch of them. I'm sorry, but I do not have time to message everybody that sends me a friend request.
Right.
I do, however, look at everybody's profile.
Oh, me too. 100%.
And I do make sure that, so there's like criteria there too. Like your profile picture has to be an actual picture of you. Like not your logo, not a pretty flower, not like nothing. Yeah. And if I don't know you at all and you don't live near me, because I'm a brand photographer as well, so businesses that are near me, normally I will accept. But if I don't know you at all and you don't have any business information on your profile, if your profile is locked and I can't see any of your posts, if some of your posts are public, but some of them are not, normally I'm like, sorry. If I can't figure out at least something that we have in common, then I usually decline.
I'm so glad to hear that, because I feel like I'm a crazy one, because I do the same thing. I'm like, somebody requested me my friend. I'm like, okay, we don't have any friends in common, that's really a hard push. But if we have friends in common, I still am looking through all of those key points. I'm like, you got to have that profile image. Ideally, you should have a banner image at the top. I mean, those are kind of things that you're supposed to fill out when you first get a Facebook account.
Yeah.
And then for businesses, business owners, I'm always reminding them, like, fill out your about section and connect some information to your business. I know it's your personal profile, but this is where people are stopping first, and they want to know who you are and what you do. And it's free promotion for your business. So why not? And so I go through that hit list, and then I look at their posts too, and I'm like, okay, so if I can't see any posts besides your profile image and maybe like 2 posts from a couple years ago, it's a little shady. So I'm probably not going to add you. And I've even gone as far as, if somebody has requested and they're mutual friends, but they give me that spammy, shady feel, I've even gone and asked a couple friends that were connected with, hey, do you really know this person, or are you just connected with them? And I've had actually one time where they're like, actually, no, we're just connected. Why? And I was like, okay, I just want to make sure, because I'm not going to add them.
Yeah. And I think that's a good point too, because, I think I'm not really sure why. I would love to know if anyone listening can tell me the answer to this. Why you do request friends, like just because they're friends with somebody else that you know?
Right.
Because I honestly, I feel like that happens so often that people are like, oh, let me go add 10 new friends today. For what purpose?
Yeah.
What is your intent to add those 10 new friends?
Yeah.
Because if it's to hopefully find your ideal client, or my profile might look like I could be your ideal client, there's got to be something more.
Yeah.
There's got to be something more. Like, just because I might be is not good enough reason to just add me as a friend. Do not spam add friends.
Yeah. And that's the thing, it's very interesting. It goes back to, like you said, what's the intent? Who is your soul client, your soul person that you're trying to reach? And that ties back into what you were saying earlier about that's what you're working on with your new launch, which is coming up, is being able to help more people find that out and to be able to push through those barriers.
Yeah. And when you do that, you know what happens? Your sales become easy.
Oh, easy sales in one sentence. I like that.
Yeah. And like, not sleazy, like we've just been talking about, because I feel like when you're adding people to your friends list, or you're spamming them in the DMs, or you're sending them weird things and invites to pages or groups or whatever it is, you're coming off as desperate.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to, one, work with anybody that feels desperate.
Yeah.
And two, you don't want to come off as desperate, I'm sure. I mean, I'm not, as a business coach, I'm telling you, you don't want to come off as desperate, but as a human being, I'm sure you don't want to come off as desperate anyways.
Yeah.
So think about those things when you're, sending out your friend requests, or you're sending a message in a DM, and even commenting on other people's posts.
It's key. That right there is key, especially when commenting, because everyone is just one click away from seeing everything, like your whole profile, your business. Like, even if it's a personal profile, you still are one click away from people seeing your business. And so it's really important to pay attention to all of that and to apply that.
Yeah. And I really believe in my soul that is the foundation to building your business. The masterclass actually covers the 3 pillars that I teach all the time.
Oh, cool.
Who is your soul client? Like, zeroing in on who it is, who it isn't.
Yeah.
Because you want to attract people that you want to work with. Like, your business really is built around you, not your service, and how you help people is about them.
Yes.
And, I'm trying to bust the myth that your business is all about your ideal client. No, it isn't. No, it's not. So really digging into you. So we got to get to know you, your soul first, so that we can go find your soul client. So really digging in, zeroing in who that is, who it isn't, who you are as a business owner, and who you're not. Like, what's your story? What's your mission? What's your core values? We talk about those things and go a little bit deeper. And then your messaging. How do you fit those 2 things together to get your message out into the world and resonate with your soul client at the same time? That's the secret sauce.
And that's a beautiful thing. And who are you looking for, in case I come across anybody out and about? Like, who are you looking for in terms of who should be taking this masterclass? Because it sounds like everyone should, but I figure I should just ask, because that's just a normal question to ask.
Yeah. So, entrepreneurs, obviously, who are really, they're probably struggling right now.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out, how do I find my ideal client? And probably saying things in their head like we were talking about before. Why is this not working? I don't understand why I can't get consistent clients or consistent leads, or they've hit this plateau in their business and they're like, why can't I make any more money? Why am I not, getting or finding or attracting a bigger audience.
Yes.
I think that's the biggest thing, is that we don't want to go looking for people. Well, you want to go look for people to connect with on a human level. When it comes to your clients, you want them to come to you.
Yes.
That's what this is all about, attracting your soul client.
Oh, I love it. I love
Mhm.
it. Well, I know that you got to run. I appreciate you meeting me for coffee here, and I'm super, super excited to catch up and
Yeah, me too.
talk about all of this, because this was so much fun.
It was fun.
This is awesome. Well, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll catch up more online as well.
Sounds good. You too, Ed.
And good luck with the launch as well. So I'll send people
Thank
your
you.
way.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
All right.
Bye-bye. All right, guys, welcome back. I hope that you enjoyed that and that you go check out that masterclass. I did put that link in the show notes, which is also in the comments for you to see below if you're watching on Facebook or anywhere else. And I want to let you know that the beauty of what we're doing here with the show and with using Facebook Live is really to show you, one, what is possible for you through live broadcasting. What you see here is a little bit fancier setup, but you can just start with your phone and work your way up depending on where you want to go. But that's the beauty of live, is you have the power to reach out and connect with more people. And the way we've done it with the show here is to be able to connect with you as well as our fellow entrepreneurs and really bring the conversation to life, so that you can not only see us, hear us, but feel the energy in the room as well. And it's really important to me to be able to connect with others and be able to share their stories, just like we did here with Jenessa. And so that's why I do this show. That's why I love being on live, which is weird still for me to say that, because when I first started, I was afraid of being on the camera, believe it or not. So it's just one of those things that it just brings me so much joy to be able to share these stories, both of myself and my guests, with you, the listener, because we're all in this together. We're all doing our own thing with our businesses. Doesn't matter if you're a coach, a consultant, a speaker, a small business owner, a nonprofit. It doesn't matter. You're all running a business. And it's important for us to work together and to learn from each other and to understand that we all have faced or will face similar challenges. And that's why I love being able to do this. So I hope that you enjoyed this episode, and feel free, if you need anything, reach out, send me a message, whether it's on social or on my website, if you need to get pointed in the right direction, and I would love to help you. And I hope that you all have an amazing rest of your day, and we will see you next time. Take care.